Daryl Morey drops a bomb on the NBA world. Is Zach Greinke upset with the Astros? Plus, I had my own Karen experience. All of that and more. Plus, John Wessling joins me in the 2 o'clock hour. This is Barry on Deck. Here we go. You damn dirty deckheads, welcome to Barry on Deck. I am your host, Barry Laminack. Thank you guys so much for joining me on this Thursday. What is it? October the 15th. This is episode number 113 of Barry on Deck, and boy, oh boy, is it about to get wild up in this bitch. We got stuff to discuss, especially if you live in the city of H-Town. If you're not a Rockets fan, you're probably not going to enjoy this first hour. If you're not an Astros fan, you're probably not going to enjoy this show. If you're not from Houston, look, maybe you're interested. But I'm going to tell you right now, we have so much to discuss. And we only have an hour with it just being you and me. Because joining me in hour number 2 today on the show, my man, my dude, my ace, John Wessling. So let's get into the Morey stuff. Let's talk about my Karen experience. Let's talk about the Astros. Let's talk about baseball. Let's talk all that and more. And then John Wessling joins me in hour number 2. I'm sure we'll talk more Astros with John Wessling. I'm sure that we'll talk about our weekend forthcoming in Fort Worth. We're going to have a good time. It's going to be a busy, busy show, a lot of fun. And we don't have a lot of time to cover a lot of stuff. So let's get right into it. You guys know I always like to shout out the chat first and foremost. And where did my screenshot go? Now, normally I take a screenshot. Well, I don't have it, but I can tell you right now, I got good news, folks. Marvin Wingfield was first in on the chat. That's right. The Lord Reverend most hated Chris Householder did not get it today. So we have a new number 1 champion, and it is Marvin Wingfield. Marvin, what's up? Cowboy fam was here. Almost got it, buddy. It was so close. Oh, you almost had it. Oh, it's $1. You almost had it, Cowboy fam, but Cowboy fam is here as well. Keith Sager checked in early with the top 5. Brandon Martinez is in, and listen, I don't know if there was anyone more happy to see Chris Householder not be first than Brandon Martinez. PK is in the building, KD is in the building, Alan Denson, Uriel Villanueva, Francisco, Justin Swinford is here early, ready to talk Rockets, and I dig it. Gregor Vega Jr. said, yeah, he's not going to be around today. At which I said, listen, guys, all the deckheads, listen. If you guys are going to have jobs and lives and things to do from 2 to 4, you guys cannot be productive citizens and responsible adults and us do this show. It's just not going to work for me. So I'm going to need you guys to all stop being good people, stop working, and just watch this goddamn show, okay? I'm going to need you to do that. Hey, speaking of the show, if you haven't subscribed already, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Click on notifications. Every time I go live, you'll get a notice, and then you can come join us and hang out. But I see Cece's in the building. I see Alan Denson, Rick C., Richard Vales, Eric Resendez, Aaron Little, Drew Anderson, Clarence, Sydney. The gang's all here. Like, I even saw Roland. R. Silva's in the building. Matt Poche and Mimi and Kevin Wallace and Scott Hanza and Jen, my sweet Jen. Donna's here. Listen, we got to get this. All right, we have got to get rolling. Let's start. Well, what do y'all want? Do we want to go with my Karen experience or do we want to talk Daryl Morey? Fuck it, let's talk Daryl Morey. We got to get into this first and foremost. We're not even going to do the sports headlines. Let's get right to it. This is why you're here. I know this is why a lot of you out there that don't watch this show every day were like, oh, what is that idiot Barry going to say about this? So let's get into it. Let's discuss it. If you haven't heard already, Daryl Morey has come to the conclusion that it would be best to step down from the Houston Rockets as their general manager. Apparently, this was a conversation he and Tillman Fertitta had. It was mutually agreed upon, which speaks volumes for what's going on in Rocket Land. Now, there are rumors that Daryl Morey was in trouble already because of the Hong Kong tweet and that it cost everybody money. And the fact that he didn't get it done again was a problem. It's also a rumor that he really was pushing for Tyronn Lue to be the next head coach of the Houston Rockets and that Tillman Fertitta wanted Jeff Van Gundy. And so I think that might have been the last straw. Now the question becomes was this a culmination of things or was this a single thing? There was also reports in the articles that I read that said Daryl Morey took some time to spend with his family. His kids were in college, but were taking off a year because of COVID. And so this was an opportunity to spend with them. I don't know that we really have all of the details. I'm sure there are some people, shout out Joe Blank, that have the inside scoop and that are going to know. But I can tell you that from an outsider's perspective, from a fan, from a media member, and from a third-party interested sports person, this is a really bad look for Tillman Fertitta. Tillman Fertitta, since he has taken on ownership, has upset Mike D'Antoni and caused him to leave. Credit to Tillman for having Daryl Morey's back. But you knew the beginning of the end for Morey was when he cost Tillman Fertitta money. When that tweet went out and advertisers in China pulled their money and cost Tillman Fertitta millions of dollars, that was the end of the rope for Tillman Fertitta. So he ran Mike D'Antoni out of town. Now he's run off Daryl Morey. He has not acquitted himself well to the general public. He has talked about not wanting to go into the luxury tax in an effort to win. He has, there are some things that he's done that is not necessarily made him look the best to Rockets fans. I think that's a nice way to put it. I think by saying that he's not gone out of his way to ingratiate himself with Rockets fans would be an understatement. He's said some things in the public about this team and about players and about coaches. And there are people like KD that are anti-Tillman Fertitta to the max. So you can see right there, he says, sell the team Fertitta. I want to play devil's advocate for just 1 second because right now things are a mess in Houston sports in general. As sports fans in Houston, Chandler Rome, I think, tweeted this out, or somebody did. I don't know who it was, but somebody mentioned the fact that you've lost all your coaches and general managers in Houston sports, in the three major sports, in one calendar year. AJ Hinch and Jeff Luhnow, Bill O'Brien and Bill O'Brien for the Texans, and then Daryl Morey and Mike D'Antoni for the Rockets. So it's a tough year, but also this is a cleansing for Houston sports. This is a cleansing. As bad as Tillman Fertitta may be in your eyes right now, KD and others, I want to point something out. Daryl Morey has as many championships under his belt as I do. Me and Daryl Morey have both general managed an NBA franchise to the same number of NBA titles. Now, you can say what you want about the success. This is the second most, the most winningest team in the last 8 years in the regular season, second most playoff appearances or something like that. They've also had the second most trades in the NBA at 77. I believe the Philadelphia 76ers have had 78. Daryl Morey treated players like commodities and not people. There were people that don't ask me, Ask your boy Joe Blank, Houston. There are people that did not want to play for this team because they did not want to play under Daryl Morey and be treated like an asset and not a human being. So while I think Tillman Fertitta has not done the best job at owning this franchise and running it in the short time that he's had it, and he could have done things better, things that to the eye test looked better, even if he didn't mean it, there were two people I've been mentioning for well over a year now. And I don't want to toot my own horn, but I'm going to tell you right now, there was nobody in Houston media that was saying the things that I was saying about this team a year ago. The last time that they got bounced in the playoffs, while I was still on air at ESPN 97.5. There was one person in this entire city that was telling you that the problem with the Rockets was not PJ Tucker, it was not Chris Paul, it was not Dwight Howard, it was not Russell Westbrook, it was not the supporting cast, it was not Kevin McHale, it was not Mike D'Antoni. A year ago, I told you there were two constants in this Rocket organization that haven't changed amongst all this regular season greatness and playoff disappointment. And those two people were, class, James Harden and Daryl Morey. At some point, you have to look at this objectively and say, what's the problem? Well, in James we trust. And who's creating that edict? Who said that that's the direction? Daryl Morey. And he's putting all of his eggs, he put all of his eggs in the James Harden basket. And what do we have as a city and as Rockets fans to show for it? A couple of exits from the Western Conference Finals and a ton of playoff failure and disappointment. So I know a lot of you out there in Rockets fan land are sad. I, for one, am here to tell you that half of the consistently mediocre squad that has continued to provide you with playoff disappointment is no longer on this team. Now, if they can just trade James, it's the dawning of a new era for the Rockets. Guys, listen to me. I know you're like, well, but we're not going to win. First of all, it's basketball. Top 8 teams always make the playoffs. The Rockets will be competitive and be a top 8 team for most of their time. I just know that. That's just always been the case. And if Daryl Morey was so good as a GM, show me the skins on the wall. Show me the accolades. Don't show me, well, 77 trades and he got Dwight and he got rid of Chris. Yeah, he also brought in Chris. Well, but he also brought in Russ. Crazy Russ. Turnover Russ. He brought you James, who brought you ISO ball, who brought you not 7 seconds of fury like Mike D'Antoni wanted, about 15 minutes of dribble, 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 dribble. Guys, I'm here to tell you that while everyone else is like, this was a bad move and the Rockets should never have let him walk out the door and step down, and you should have done everything to keep him, I'm here to tell you this was the right thing to do. Losing Daryl Morey could be the best thing to happen to the Houston Rockets. Now, they are replacing Daryl Morey with the same people, with the same regime that existed with him and under him. The same folks that have been there assisting with these deals and keeping this team to be the regular season champs. They won a regular season title. Guess what? That doesn't exist, Houston. We are fucking moral victory town. This town is, you know what? Fuck calling Houston H-Town. This is Settletown. I am declaring Houston Settletown. If you were good with Daryl Morey, welcome to Settletown, folks. You cannot be good with winning the regular season or being competitive in the regular season. It is championship or bust. That is a winner's mentality. I'm not telling you that the city of Houston has a loser's mentality, but I'm telling you, if you wanted to keep Daryl Morey, you were happy with settling. If you want to hang on to James Harden, you are happy with settling. I, for one, as a Rockets fan, I am not happy with settling. I want better. I want championships. I want to win rings and feel proud of a basketball team. Daryl Morey was good at what he did. Zero skins on the wall. James Harden is a brilliant offensive player. Zero skins on the wall. You can't settle town. You can't settle. This is the dawning of a new era in Rockets basketball. Just like it was when Daryl Morey got here. So I know that the rest of you are, oh my God, what now? Turn that frown upside down, sad face. Turn it up. Let's go. Championships are on the horizon. Well, kind of, because it's kind of the same people that have been there that are still there. So let's see what they do differently that Daryl didn't do. Because you know, everybody's like that, right? You guys know that as you watch somebody, your boss, do your job or do their job, the person right above you on the food chain at your company, you watch them and say, I would do this different and I would do that different. Sure, they may be a good boss, but I would do these things different. Let's see if that happens. Now, I have the names of the people that are replacing them. So Morey's going to remain in an advisory role for a short period of time to assist in the search for a head coach, which is why I'm not sold on the rumor that he wanted JVG and Daryl wanted Ty Lue and Tillman Fertitta wanted JVG. If that were the case, you're not going to keep him on in an advisory role. But Raphael Stone, the Rockets are planning to promote Executive Vice President of Basketball Operations Raphael Stone to GM. Stone has played a significant part in the Rockets team building throughout his tenure. So there you go. And then they mentioned who will be the assistant GM, which I can't find that name. It's in this article, but thanks to ESPN for the article and all the information. If you're sad, I will tell you that Daryl Morey was not the greatest GM in basketball history. In fact, there were GMs within this organization that have won more championships than he did. Houston, you have got to stop settling. Stop being Settletown. All right? He had his opportunity. Since when? 2007? That's 13 years. Daryl Morey had 13 years to shape and mold and build a team and build a winner. And while he got close, he was a hamstring away. The fact of the matter is, they didn't get it done. He invested in small ball. It didn't work. He is James Harden or bust, and it hasn't worked. It's time. So I know you're sad. Don't be sad. Now, let me see what you're saying in the chat. You guys know I like to get your feedback as well. And I know KD's going to be on me about this. So it says, Clarence says, Rocket fans, here's the truth. The Rockets has the best chance to win a ring in the past 3 years. It's over. Yeah. Brandon said, didn't you win a Rock the Mic championship? He didn't. Yeah. Let's see. Well, who else we got? Matt Murphy. Harden era needs to come to an end. Okay. And, what is, Barry, what's up with your left eye, bro? What are you talking about? What's wrong with my left? This eye? This is my left eye. What's wrong with my left eye? I don't understand. I'm not sure what you mean. That's a weird thing. Is my eye weird? I can't look at it and then, I don't know what you're talking about, Clarence. BZH420 said, Isoball is why I don't watch NBA anymore. Team sport. I hate Isoball. Where else we got? Walt, did Daryl Morey put together a system of shooting the most threes in the NBA with a bunch of the worst shooters in the league? Good riddance. Okay? The next GM going to blow that shit up. The Rockets have never done a complete rebuild. This might be the perfect time, though. Yeah, but here's the question, Amos. If you're going to do a rebuild, if you're going to do that, are you bringing in a guy like JVG? JVG doesn't want to go through a rebuild. He wants to win now. So that's not going to be your guy. KD, this is what I was looking for. KD said, you keep focusing on Harden's play style once MDA got a hold of him. Yes, it doesn't work, but Harden also played in different styles with Mikal and JBB. Also, Harden has carried the team to the playoffs every year. Cool. And what did that get you? What do you have to show for that? My eyes are a little foggy. I'm not going to lie. You have nothing to show for that. What's up, Junior? Houston has 8th place trophy mentality. Exactly. We won the regular season. Yay. Mike said, do you know how trash you have to be to not make the playoffs? That's my point. It's basketball. It's the NBA. You're going to make the playoffs. All right. That's first and foremost. I'm not going to belabor the point. I said what I said. I said what I had to say. I know some of you thought I was going to come in here and cheer this. I'm sure my buddy Joel Blank is cheering. I am glad that the Houston Rockets finally have the opportunity to try something new, because what they were doing wasn't working. You can tell me about the wins, great, but if you're not winning championships, what's the difference? What's the difference? Okay. Now that we've covered that, now that I've said what I've said, let's get to some sports headlines, shall we? Here are your headlines from the day in sports. The Falcons shut down their facilities after a positive virus test. No word yet on if they're going to play this week. I'm sure they're going to test all the players and coaches and everybody else. Cincinnati college football program has had some positive tests. They have had to postpone their game against Tulsa. Dak Prescott is reportedly in good spirits and ready to start his comeback, so that's good news. Get well soon, Dak. Sources are saying that Anthony Davis plans to opt out of his contract and re-sign with the Lakers. Let's discuss that for a second, because he did have a player option for like $28 million. He said, nah, fam, I'm good. I'm going to go ahead and opt out. Let's re-up a new deal. Thing you need to remember is LeBron James has 2 years left on his deal. One of those is a player option for like $40-something million. Now, every time the salary cap goes up, LeBron's going to get more money. So he's going to opt out of any deal. Now, what's going to be interesting is I don't know that the salary cap in 2022 is going to go up. I think they're predicting that it might go down because of COVID. So LeBron's probably good with his money, but then he's going to have to be, is he going to re-up with the Lakers? What's going to happen after 2021? So that's where I think Anthony Davis, there are a couple of options for him. He can sign a 1-and-1 deal, a 2-and-1 deal, or a 5-year deal. I look for Anthony Davis to sign a 1-and-1 deal, 1 year guaranteed, 1 year. It's basically 1 year with a player option. So he'll sign that 1-and-1, and him and LeBron at the same time will decide what they want to do next, because I think LeBron will exercise his player option going into his unrestricted free agency. So you'll probably see AD and LeBron together for the next 2 years, and then it's going to be topsy-turvy. LeBron will be 37. AD will probably be at the top end of his prime. And then we'll see what happens from there. So I expect to see something like that occur with AD. And finally, Clayton Kershaw's back is better. There are plans for him to start Game 4 in LA. If you missed it, that's your sports headlines. Now, we talked a little bit about the Rockets. We talked about Jeff Van Gundy and Tyronn Lue. Danny Ariano wants lawn talk. No lawn talk. That's on Friday. That's Friday. Now, let's talk NBA playoffs, because guess what? Speaking of Settletown, your Astros live to fight another day. Jose Altuve with some sweet, sweet redemption, actually productive at the plate. Got it out. Guys, breaking news. Jose Altuve made a good throw to first. Film at 11. It's good to see, though. Jose Altuve comes out, gets a home run. That's a joyous occasion. Astros end up winning 4-3, give up a run late in the game, makes it a little more interesting, but they do hang on to win. Dodgers jump out front, get 11 in the first, end up whooping the Braves 15-3. Before we get into the Game 2 starters, let's talk a little bit about your boy Zach Greinke. There was a pivotal moment in this game yesterday with your Houston Astros where it was unclear as to should Dusty Baker go out there and take Zach Greinke out of the ballgame? Should he go get him? That was the thought process. Dusty's like, well, They're handing him analytics charts, and he's like, man, I don't know about this shit. I'm going to go talk to him. So he goes out there, and he leaves. He leaves him in. He comes off the mound, and he says it was just a feeling. Now, in this article I read, he says, sometimes I talk to my dad. And so Dusty's talking to dead people, and they're trying to give him analytics. This is where we're at, Astros fans. Fortunately for Dusty Baker, it was the right move. How many of you, truth serum time, bloop, bloop, right in the arm. Not like heroin, just like truth serum. If I injected you with truth serum, chat, if I injected you with the inability to lie to me, deckheads, when Dusty walked away and left Zach Greinke in the game, you were worried, weren't you? You were like, oh, shit. Here comes old pussball Greinke, gonna groove one at about 80 against the hottest hitter in the playoffs right now. Oh, shit. And then he got the out, and all of you were like, yeah, I fucking knew it. Hell yeah. That's the beauty of a manager, is that if that doesn't work, Dusty Baker's out. Like, you guys are done, because it loses you the game. You're bounced out of the playoffs, and it was a decision, and the reason that you lost was because Dusty left him in. That is the difference between Dusty being a hero and a GOAT. That one decision, and it all came down to Zach Greinke executing. If you take a step back, was it the right decision to leave Zach Greinke in? I say yes. Even though that Astros bullpen has been pretty reliable in the playoffs, it's still a scary proposition to me. Now, you could bring in Ryan Presley at that moment and get the outs. I know he was warming up. But shit, I don't know who I trust more, Zach Greinke or Ryan Presley at this point. But I was okay with it. I was okay with it because Greinke's dealing. It was scary. He was in a little bit of trouble. He's prone to giving up a home run every now and then because he loses focus. But you have to ask yourself, was there anything in the bullpen that you felt like was better than Zach Greinke? And to me, the answer was not at that moment. No. So, I mean, kudos to Dusty for making the call. Sometimes that shit works. Sometimes it doesn't. This is what Zach Greinke had to say about the decision to leave him in. He was asked about it in the post-game interview. He said, I was just saying it was nice having someone have confidence in me because since I've been here being the Houston Astros, since I've been here, they haven't seemed to have confidence in my ability, so it was nice having that happen in an important time like that. Wow. Now, y'all know Zach Greinke has no filter. Like, Zach Greinke's going to, if you ask him a question, he's not going to be like, it was nice to have Dusty have my back. That's one way of putting it. Then the other one is, this team has never had confidence in me. Everyone here thinks I'm a fucking idiot and can't pitch. I don't even know why they brought me in. Fuck this squad. I'll be glad when I leave. But he kind of did that. I mean, let's be real. They asked him a follow-up question. Chandler Rome reported, they said, asked specifically if he was referring to Game 7 of the World Series when A.J. Hinch pulled him. Greinke said, that was one example, but there's probably a dozen examples if you look back at it. Wow. Greinke hasn't even been here that long. Greinke hasn't even been an Astro for that long. And he's already saying these things. He already feels like this organization doesn't have confidence in him. That's tough, man. That's tough. And as Zach Greinke, you probably watch guys like Justin Verlander get left in too long and it's JV, fucking ride or die. You watch them bring out guys like Josh James, even though he shit the bed more than a toddler. You're like, come on, go get it. Oh, shit. But then you're like, yo, I'm Zach Greinke. I'm pretty good at what I do. And they're like, yeah, nah, you don't throw hard enough. Get out. Come here. Come on, softy. Get out of here. I like the move because I don't think there was anything better. Now, if there was, somebody in the bullpen that you trusted, it was a bad move. But given what you had out there, and a bunch of rookies. Good for Dusty, man. Dusty was going to ride with his guys, and that's the reason why players love playing for Dusty Baker. He is a player's manager. He is a man of the player. He's a man of the people. He's a man. Everybody loves Dusty. Literally everybody. I was not a fan of Dusty Baker as a hire for the Astros squad, but I did say he was the right person to lead this team given what they were going to have to go through in the season of the cheating scandal. He was the right person. People respect him. That's why he was hired. He wasn't hired because he's the best baseball manager. But I tell you what, he had to go with the old gut. That's a scary thing. Good for Dusty. Now, all of that said, let's talk about the choice of Luis Garcia to take the mound in today's game, which kicks off at 4:07, his first pitch. I would love to sit here and tell you that I like this move. I don't know enough about Luis Garcia. I know that apparently Dusty has trust in him because every game for the Astros until they advance to the World Series is an elimination game. Every game. The question becomes, is Luis Garcia going to be an opener and not a starter? How long is he going to go? He does have a start or two under his belt. I think in those combined starts he's got one start. I'm sorry. He's gone 4 innings and 5 innings. That's the most he's pitched in 2020. His one start he lost. Q-Child says, Barry, you're right. If it didn't work with Dusty, everybody would be roasting him. Exactly. That was one of those things where if it works, you celebrate him, and if it doesn't, you roast him. That's why you have to look at it objectively. Did you like the move? Did you like the move? I don't know about this whole Luis Garcia thing. I did see a tweet where somebody said, listen, this shapes up where if they win this game, and Curtis is no easy out. He's going to open. He'll probably go an inning, maybe an inning and a couple of hitters after that. But he's been pretty effective against the Astros. And then it's right into that bullpen, so that's not good. Can't have a lot of atom balls like they have had previously. Can't hit them right at them. Astros are going to have to actually do some work, generate some runners on the base paths, and then drive in runners when they get them in scoring position. Because that's been killing them. That and Jose Altuve's defense, let's be real. The pitching hasn't been awful. Altuve's defense is hurt. You've hit a lot of balls right at the Rays, although they've also played some stellar defense. But you also haven't driven, I think they said last night, the first RBI with a man in scoring position in this series occurred last night in the middle of the game, and I forgot who drove it in. But damn, got to get better. Now, Luis Garcia, again, starting for the Astros. That answers your question, Danny Ariano. John Curtis is the opener for the Rays. If this works, apparently it's set up so that your regular 4-man rotation of Greinke, McCullers, Urquidy, and Fromber would be the only guys to start games from here on out. So I know every game is a must-win in the rest of this series, but if somehow Luis Garcia is able to pull this out and hang in there and give these Astros a chance to win, you still got work to do. Can they win 4 in a row? I just don't think so. The Rays are too good. So I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to say at 4:07, fire up the TV, put on your Astros hat, get your Astros shirt if you got one like mine, get you a beer, get you a tissue, because it ends today. The Magic, Altuve with the redemption game, cool. Dusty with the faith in Zach, yay. It's over. It stings so bad that they're gonna lose. It's over. I don't know that they win today. And if they win today, they ain't winning tomorrow. And if they win tomorrow, they ain't winning the next day. And if they win that, what the fuck? What? That was weird. So, good for them. I'm glad they didn't get swept. Settletown, baby! We didn't get swept! Shit! All right. So there's your starters one more time in case you missed it. So, that's our sports conversation. I know. KD says, I hate seeing Charlie Morton pitch for anybody or against the Astros. Me too. You think about what the starting rotation for the Houston Astros was at one point. I mean, it was Lance McCullers, it was Dallas Keuchel, Justin Verlander, Charlie Morton. What? Who am I missing? What? That is insane. And now it's Lance and Zach and Fromber and Jose. Not the same. Aaron Little says, I think they'll win. Well, okay. We'll see who's right. Oh, yeah, Garrett Cole. Yeah. What the fuck happened? If you would have just paid those cats to stick around, nobody would ever. Fuck the cheating scandal. No one's beating you. No one's beating you. But they didn't. All right, now, as part of teasing the show, actually, let me do this real quick before we get into my Karen episode, because I do want to tell you, I ran into a real-life Karen last night. It was crazy. It was wild, for me, anyways. So we'll get to that in just a second, but right now, I do want to tell you about the fine folks at Hemp Vita. Hey, I don't mess around. I keep all my Hemp Vita products right here. This is the Hemp Vita Sunblock. They have this right now. You buy one, get one free. You're going to be out doing yard work and outside for the next month or two. And then there's like a 2-month break, a 3-month break at the most. Then you're going to be right back outside again every day in the sun. Take advantage of this sale right now. And not only are you going to get good quality sunscreen that's 30 SPF, you're going to get some with some CBD in it. So you can actually, put a little extra on the elbow if that's what's sore, or your shoulder or your knee. Because if you didn't know, CBD has been known to help with quite a few things, including inflammation, including helping you get some pain relief, including insomnia. Last night, Daddy took his CBD gummies. I was out. I didn't even get to finish the Astros game. Took the gummies, fell asleep. They work great for me. A lot of the deckheads in the chat, you're going to see it works great for them. Look at the Reverend. He'll tell you, man, I'm telling you guys, get on this CBD bandwagon right now if you haven't already. Go to hempvitacbd.com. They do have products for your pets as well, and don't worry, there's no THC in their products. Everything organically grown in the U.S., and I'll save you 15%. Just use that promo code Deckhead15 when you sign up and when you check out, and you're going to save an absolute ton of money. Also, want to tell you about Dan's Seafood and Wings. I'm trying to work this out, guys. Don't say nothing, but I'm trying to get them to drop me off some Dan's to the house one day. Oh, please make this happen. Dan's Seafood and Wings. Boiled spicy shrimp is the best in town. If you don't know, Dan's has Asian, Latin, and Cajun-inspired seafood, plus some delicious wings. 2 locations to serve you. One on the southwest side of town on South Gessner, and one on the northeast side of town on Uvalde. So there's always a Dan's within at least 30 minutes drive of you, and it's worth it. If you, like my wife, are like, man, I really want some seafood today, guys, do yourself a favor, eat at Dan's. Go to eatadans.com for all the information, a menu, locations, and follow them on Instagram at eatatdans. You can see the delicious food, including the stuff that I got when I went there. I spent an absolute grip on Dan's. So much food left over, we had it the next day, and Nora will tell you, it's just as good left over. So eatatdans.com. Do your boy a favor and go support the companies that support this show. Okay. Look, PK tells you, gummies and gel are legit. BCH420 said, I have a Karen moment every day. My wife's name is Karen. Well, I hope she's nice. All right, let's talk about my Karen moment, because last night, Nora, so you guys know Nora had a root canal and she's almost recovered. But I was like, why don't I get you some soup? I'll run to to wherever and get some soup. What kind of soup would you like? And she was like, I think I want some from Panera Bread, some potato soup from Panera Bread. I was like, perfect. Oh, real quick. Zoe, I'll answer that in just a second. Let me tell this Karen story, but that's a good question. I will answer that in just one moment. So I go to Panera Bread, and Nora's like, do you want me to order it? I was like, no, I'll just run in and place the order, whatever. And I walk in the door, and I am greeted with this. This, damn it. This is in my Panera Bread. This. Not a service dog. Just a regular ass fucking poodle. Look at this shit. This Karen went to a restaurant where people eat food in public with this raggedy ass dog. This puffy ass, raggedy poodle, whatever the fuck that is. And she goes in there in her yoga pants and her workout gear because I'm Karen and I just came from yoga and I had the dog in my yoga class. So there's no way I'm going to go all the way home. It's almost a mile because this is in the front of a subdivision. There's no way I'm going to drive a mile back to the house and then have to come back and order. And I could even put the order in on the app and just wait in the fucking car. But no, I got to be a raggedy bitch and take my dog into a public fucking restaurant. So I walk in and see this fluffy ass thing with her dog. And I'm disgusted. I mean, look, I love dogs. I don't mind dogs, but fuck you. I don't want to see your dog in a restaurant where I'm eating at. Fucking poodle hair and shit in my soup. No, thank you. No, thank you. Not only that, and forget the fact that she's wearing yoga pants, which if you've ever watched Barry on Deck for any length of time, you know I have taught you guys some of those surefire signs of she's a Karen. Yoga pants, dead fucking giveaway, right? We know if a lady has on yoga pants, chances are she's a Karen. So this lady with this half-ass mask, do you notice something about the mask? Do you notice that she's just down here with it? Oh, fuck you. Fuck you. You ain't even wearing the goddamn thing. It's covering all of her chins. It ain't covering your mouth. It ain't covering your nose. Put your fucking mask on, lady. Take your fucking dog and that half-ass mask and get the fuck out of the store. We all hate you, lady. We all hate you. Now, all this was happening in my head. I said none of this, of course. I'm fuming. But if she would have turned around and looked at me, I'd have been like, how's it going? Okay. All right. Bitch. Now, I will say that it was obvious that as she's checking out, I'm doing this. I'm just boop, 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 taking pictures because fuck her. I did that when I was in San Antonio. There was a guy speakerphoning in the Starbucks. I had to check out on Sunday. By the way, side tangent right here real quick. I'm in the Starbucks drinking a coffee, killing time before the Sunday show. There's a guy on a speakerphone across the Starbucks. So I get my phone out and I point it directly at him. I'm not acting like I'm on my phone. I just pointed at him and he looks at me and goes, I gotta go. And he just hangs up his phone. Sometimes if you just pretend like you're putting people on video, they'll stop. I don't think she would have. Anyways, so this lady orders her food without her mask on. She's being kind of uppity to the lady. The lady that works there is like, so ma'am, do you have a phone number on file with us? She's like, why would I do that? She was like, because you get discounts. She was like, do I look like I need a discount? I was like, oh, bitch, fuck off. She's doing her job. She's like, well, ma'am, if you sign up with us, you can get a discount. She's like, I just want my food. Of course you do, lady. Of course you do. So she asks for the order, and this woman's like, I want this. What comes on the Cobb salad? Bitch, it's a Cobb salad. If you don't know what's on it, don't order it. So she's going through all the shit, and she makes her order. She's done. She said, okay, can I have a name for your order? Y'all, I swear to God. She goes, Karen. I was like, oh, I fucking knew it. Oh, I knew that shit as soon as she cooked. I was like, ah, God damn it, I knew it. I knew it. Legitimate Karen sighting right there. Not Sharon, not McCarran, Karen. A goddamn real life Karen right there in my midst. It was like Bigfoot just walked through the Panera Bread. I was like, holy shit. So she orders and she goes sits down at a booth with her fucking dog to eat. And I'm next. And I walk up. And I'm not proud of what I did. But the irony is, I asked to speak to the manager. Turned into a Karen. Right there. It's like it's a fucking disease. But I was like, you don't get to bring your dog in here. It's not a service dog. It doesn't have on a vest. It's not like you have anxiety. You just have resting bitch face. You don't get a service dog for resting bitch face. So I walk up to the counter. I'm like, excuse me, miss, do you guys allow pets in this establishment? She was like, I don't know. I was like, could you go get the manager? And in my mind, I was like, what the fuck is happening right now? Am I stuck in like a Karen Twilight Zone episode? Is this like Karenception? Where I'm like, I'm the Karen? Is there somebody behind me going, look at this fucking Karen? Am I on video right now? But I had to do it. And I just said, look, there's a lady with a dog. That's disgusting. Could you? So I placed my order. The lady was like, oh, okay, I'll see what I can do. She walks off. I place my order to go, and I go and sit down, right? And as I sit down, I can see the Karen and her dog over here. And then I go and get Nora and myself our drinks. And as I come back, the buzzer buzzes, and I go and I get our food. And as I'm walking out the door, as I'm leaving the establishment, I have to pass by the table where Karen was sitting. Karen's not there anymore. So I was like, oh, I know it wasn't to go because I didn't hear her say to go. And as I open the door, they have seating outside of this Panera, and I look to my right, and I have to walk right past her. And she's sitting at a table outside with her dog eating on speakerphone. Big shock. Big shock. This lady who thinks everyone wants to be around her raggedy ass dog in public is now on a speakerphone in public. But I hear her. I walk out the door, and she goes, oh, I'm at Panera eating outside because, and looks right at me and goes, someone snitched on me. And I was like, I'm on my way home, babe. Yeah, and I fucking scurried to the car because I've never been confronted by a Karen before. And I didn't know what would happen next. So I ran like a bitch, okay? Don't judge me. Don't judge me. So that's my Karen story. And it was a trip. And fuck that lady for taking her dog into a goddamn Panera Bread. You rude person. All right, now, just Zoe had a question for me. She said, Barry, when are you going to put out another Barry on Sports? Hopefully tonight, Zoe. Hopefully tonight. I have the script. It's been a wild week. I'm way behind. The guys that wrote this episode are mad at me because I haven't recorded and published it yet. I usually try to do that on Monday nights, Tuesday mornings. Hasn't happened, but I did finish the script last night. When this show is over with at 4 o'clock, I'm going to go mow my yard, and then I'm going to come in and record the Barry on Sports for this week, and then hopefully have another one published for you on Monday. So you should get two within a 3 or 4 day window. So Zoe, to answer your question, hopefully it's out tonight or first thing in the morning. Cool? Okay. All right. I don't know what else I missed. No. Don't call me Barry Fires for snitching on Karen. Don't call me Barry Fires for snitching on the dog lady. Don't bring your dog in public. Barry 69. No. Don't bring your nasty ass dog in public and you won't get told on, okay? All right, by the way, I got a new mouse, y'all. Remember I told you Amazon Prime Day, I ordered a new mouse. Remember I showed you the old one? I had to get this mouse. If you missed it yesterday, I had to get these mouse. It's called a jelly comb. I don't know what that means, but they're like super quiet. They're a very quiet click. But this one, the scroll wheel is like really messed up. It doesn't work right. So I ordered a new one. Daddy got a gold one. I'm fancy now, guys. I don't want to brag, but I'm kind of fancy. Oh, it matches the shirt. Well, it's black, but yeah. Jen said I would have said something also. Now, Jen, would you have confronted her? Because, I mean, I don't want to be the guy that confronts the Karen and then I end up on video and they're like, look at this Chad attacking this lady. Pantera bread is the perfect spot for Karen gatherings. I don't know what Pantera bread is, but that would be badass if there was a Pantera bread. But Panera bread, yes. Karens go to Panera. Although Panera's delicious. Don't knock it. Don't you dare knock Panera Bread. Hey, look, John Wessling in the building. Gonna join me in about 10 minutes. Gonna have some good times. So that'll happen shortly. Did I get to everything I wanted to get to? A Karen story. I did want to. I've been sitting on this story for a while now, and it's pretty fascinating actually. But there was where is this at? In Canada, Cochrane, Canada. Police in Canada were summoned to a gas station to remove a python from the establishment. Alberta Royal Canadian Mounted Police tweeted that officers from the Cochrane were summoned to the local gas station on a report of a snake on the loose inside the store. The tweet said the python was running around and genuinely scaring people. When police arrived on scene, they were able to quickly find the python and remove it from the store. I don't know if you're looking at your screen right now, but if you're not, take a gander at the python that you see on your screen. Turns out it was a garter snake. It says that the python was coaxed out from underneath a display of potato chips, and an officer discovered it was actually a small, harmless garter snake, also known as a grass snake. It says that obviously there is something we don't get to do very often. Animal calls are part of it, but it might be loose horses or a cow or something on the highway, maybe a loose dog. Officer Keeble said that the snake was released with the understanding that it would not continue to traumatize the human beings inside the store. Oh, Canada. What are we doing? A python. Whoever reported this has never, ever seen a python. Because that is not a fucking, look at the wand. The tail would fall into the crack of the tile and not get the Yogi Fish, the snake had no warrants. Obviously, if they let him go, lucky it wasn't a black snake, right? Shit. They'd have shot that snake right there. All right, guys, listen. White Magic said, I had to call pest control a couple of weeks ago. It was a snake about that size, and I did not fuck with wildlife. It was a Western Diamondback, whatever that means. You didn't have no damn snake that size, Western Diamondback. Get out of here. Get out of here. I've had 13-foot rat snakes wrapped up on my door. It's no big deal. We just moved. It was not this door. Shit, we left that house. All right, listen, we got to take a break. Let's get to a break. We're going to go a little early because that's all I really wanted to talk about. I have this story, if you give a fuck. It's about Logic. Y'all know Logic the rapper? Y'all know who that is? No? Anybody know this cat? Well, apparently this dude bought a rare Pokemon card for $200,000. And all you really need to do is look at him and go, yeah, $200K on a Pokemon card. I don't even know what fuck Pokemon is really. But that guy, Logic the rapper, spent $200,000 on a rare Pokemon card. And that is fucking ridiculous. Again, I don't know what Pokemon is. It's not my younger brother, Clarence. I hate your stupid face. All right, let's get to this break. All right, we're going to take a break. Coming up in just a few minutes, everybody go pee, take a poop, smoke a cigarette. Whatever it is you do in these 5-minute breaks, do that now. And then coming back, I'm going to be joined on the show by friend of the show, friend of mine, hilarious comedian, host of the After Later podcast, which is now featured on Helium and the Helium Podcast Network, John Wessling. So don't go anywhere. We're going to be back in 5 minutes. This is Barry on Deck. I'm your host, Barry Lamenek. Hey, do me a favor before we go. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Just go on down there, hit subscribe, hit the little bell, ding, turn on notifications. Your boy appreciates it. Give this video a thumbs up. I'll see you guys in 5 minutes. This is Barry on Deck.
my shot, how's my sound?
Hey, welcome back to hour number 2 of Barry on Deck. I am your host, Barry Laminack. Thank you guys for sticking through the break. Well, the 71 of you that did, the other 18 of you that left can go fuck yourselves. I don't know why I told them that. They can't even see this now because they left. That laugh you hear joining me on the show right now, my buddy, my pal, my guy. I don't know why this is messing up here. John Wessling joins me on the show. I don't know what's happening to my. There we go.
There it is. I
Much
know you
better.
figured it out.
Yeah, John
Hey, you don't have to worry
Wessling.
about telling those 18 people to fuck off because they already fucked off already.
They did. Well, I guess they
yeah. They already went availed themselves to the opportunity to go fuck themselves. And so there they are.
Dude, thanks for joining me on the show, man. Much appreciated.
My
Always
pleasure.
good to have you. You are you're like the go-to guest. This is what, 5, 6 times now?
I lose track at this point, you know what I mean? But hey,
You know.
who cares? It feels like one long time where we just continually have a conversation.
That's true.
Is it-
I mean, if you
stuff-
figure we've done 110 of these episodes,
Mm-hmm.
you've done 5 of them. That's roughly every 20-something episode. That's like once a month almost, right?
I'll take that. Plus, think how many episodes I've completely fucked up from the chat. So, I get my stank in there.
Speaking of fucking up the chat, Mike Liebeshock's hanging out with us, so there's that.
Hey, what's up? I got to figure it out. Last time I couldn't get my screens right to where I could see the chat at the same time, but now I can.
You have it now?
I'm chat ready. Yeah, absolutely. The display was different, and sometimes when you can practice it and you know how to do it, but then all of a sudden when it's live like a thing, then you're like, oh shit, I can't find the button. Screw it, suffer, just suffer.
Didn't you have to do one where there was no camera? You couldn't see me? You did the whole show without being able to see me?
Well, no, it started that way because I was an idiot and couldn't see because the button where you turn on the camera was slid up underneath my toolbar. And instead of moving the cursor to where the toolbar disappears, I just panicked and I don't see it. Why is it fucking me like this? Fuck you, Steve Jobs. I'm mad at all of them.
Shit happens, man. Shit happens. You roll with it like a champ. I expected nothing less. Now, are you looking forward to this weekend as much as I am?
Dude, hell yeah, man. I'll tell you, when's the last time, never mind working with you, but myself, last time I went and worked at a comedy club is going on, it was like New Year's. New Year's was the last time.
Wow.
And that was the Grove in the Water Murder Cabin.
Oh,
So,
no shit.
Yeah, it's been a while. So like, dude, it's going to be great. It's going to feel awesome. I mean, it's going to be about 50 to 75% capacity in the room, which is good because it's a fucking basement in downtown Fort Worth. I'm sure there's no diseases in there.
I'm sure
Not
at all.
We'll get out of there with motherfucking hoof and mouth disease. Fucking.
I was at
Yeah.
LOL last weekend,
How
and
was that?
it's a weird vibe back on the road. It's kind of this weird mix. Some people respect it. Some people like, one guy was like, I love you. Can I have a hug? I was like, no, bro. 6 feet, man. 6 fucking feet. What are we doing? Some people want to shake hands and get offended when you knuckle bump them or elbow. It's fucking weird, man. It's a weird vibe out there. But I'm glad to be back.
It is nice to be back. You gotta do the double Heisman rule. Or if I do a Heisman and you do a Heisman, that's as close as we can get. We can bump Heismans from afar.
So just straight
That's
out.
about
Is that,
it. Yeah, that's where I need to be. You know what I mean? Just keep your Heisman out. And
well, they say if you put your arms out, if you extend your arms from fingertip to fingertip, that's how tall you are. Roughly.
yeah, supposed to wingspan is your height. Yeah.
So, like, for me, I'm supposed to be 5'10", so that's about 6 foot. So you're right. If each of us put an arm out, that's how far apart we need to be. It's like in elementary school. Remember, you would line up, or in PE gym class to do or football to do calisthenics. Everybody had to get fingertip to fingertip, and that was your space to do your calisthenics. Now that's your space to live.
Yeah, exactly. You should just be able to, in public, have both your arms completely out, and then just spin like an idiot, and everyone stay away. Like, imagine me spinning with blades. If I had blades, claws, like fucking, I had Wolverine claws. I'm just spinning around.
You could make I won't be surprised if some of these high-end fashion things make something like that. It's like a social distancing jacket, and it's just some weird shit that extends out 3 feet in either direction or whatever, 6 feet, and somebody will create that. Hey, real quick, let me do this in the chat. Jake Richardson said, "Hey Barry, I just wanted to stop by and give the Deckheads a quick shout out. I'm getting married tomorrow, so a million things to do. Y'all be safe and rock on." Jake, congratulations, buddy. You fucked
Well
up,
done.
but I'm happy for you.
You take it like a man. You already fucked up, so you just run down run down that aisle and you take a knee and you spike the ball and you fuck
You're
the shit out of that
screwed.
woman.
No, congratulations, Jake. We're all happy for you, man. We're all married and sad too. So welcome welcome to the sad married club.
It's fun at first. We're gonna have I'd say about 7, 8 good, really fucking kick-ass years, and that's good. That's like going to college twice. That's a great run.
All right, now you and I are gonna talk Astros, but I want to get to Kevin Wallace's message first because this is relevant, and I didn't put this on your credits, and I failed you because I didn't put the shirtless man. I put after later podcast, and I put the album. But I didn't put the shirtless man. But Kevin Wallace says, Wessling, I need some more poon sack in my life.
Yeah, we all do.
Any idea when more episodes of the shirtless man will come out? So update us.
I'm glad that you asked. I just I've been the 20% of my time that I got carved out to write new stuff. I've been kind of focusing on stand up a little bit and another different audio program that I've been working on with Tommy Drake, a little secret stoners in space project. Very similar thing. But that said, I have the muse has come back when it comes to the Tales of Dale. And I've got some ideas and I'm writing them out and we'll see how easy it would be to make it. But one of the things that helped me kind of gather the muse was spending more time editing on things. So I kind of figured out how to do some more things that I was not very proficient at before, but I sort of, okay.
You mean editing as in editing?
Sound editing.
Huh?
Multi-track sound.
Okay. I wasn't sure if you meant editing as in editing copy, editing videos, editing sound. Okay, so it was sound editing.
I can chop words all to hell. It's music beds and backup sounds and shit like that. That makes for good audio theater or what do they call it? Sonic fiction.
Oh, is that what it's called? There's a phrase.
Billy D told me that. He turned me onto that term.
Sonic fiction.
Yeah, it sounds cool. I was like, okay, I like that. That sounds good. That's better than just scripted podcast.
Right. Trucker Taco says, does John have any videos of his stand up on YouTube?
Well, yes, of course they do. And there's also some, if you Google search John Wessling comedy, you'll also see some clips of other people named John Wessling falling off a horse. That's it's that video stayed in the top 10. The other guy named John Wessling just sort of awkwardly falling off a horse at like
that's
a trail
not
ride.
Wait, that's not you?
That's not me. No, that's not me. I think that's a John Wessling in Indiana. Nice guy, sells insurance. We get a lot of Google alerts back and forth. He's been closing some deals lately. I've been proud of him. I'm like, okay.
Have you reached out to him? Be like, dude, you're embarrassing me. You fell off the horse.
Several. Our buddy Matty Kirsch, he did a little project about 10 years ago where he contacted all the other Matt Kirsch in America, kind of created like his own Matt Kirsch army. And I was like, I fucking love this. So I started collecting Westlings, right? And I felt really bad. I don't know if we talked about this before, but I first got on YouTube and Twitter, Facebook, everything else. I was always good I got John Wessling, whatever it was first, right? So these other John Westlings out there, I feel like I've been boxing them out on all the social media addresses and websites and shit. And one of them was a dirt bike racer. This kid, John Wessling, the dirt bike racer. I was, I get the updates and I was seeing how he was doing in races. I'm like, whoa, John, would you just always on he's sponsored? All of a sudden he's on the main tour. I'm like, I'm gonna have to step out of the way and let John Wessling motocross racer have the name for a while. You know what I mean? Like, I'll be Jay Wessling 2. I think you had to do that.
John Wessling 2020.
Well, his Twitter was like Jay West, and then whatever his number was.
Just a bunch of S's.
Yeah, and I felt bad because this poor kid got boxed out. Yeah,
there is another Barry Laminack, but there's no way that my Twitter handle would be Barry Laminack KKK. That's why John West would work, but you couldn't add a couple extra K's at the end of Laminack. That's not okay anymore. I mean,
no, you want to maybe double up on the C, like the way they write thick with 2 C's,
which is gang related. That's where that started. I don't know if you know that. Did you know that the reason they spell thick that way?
No, I didn't know that.
2 C's is you never put C and a K back to back because it stands for in gang terminology Crip killer. So they'll put CC instead of CK.
Oh, that's clever. That's clever.
So when you see thick with two C's, the origins is they were trying to correct the terminology of Crip Killer, so they would never put a C and a K together. And a lot of them won't even some of them Crips won't use the B at all, or they won't say blood, they'll say flood. It's very weird. It's a whole thing. But yeah, the CC back to back replaces the CK.
So you couldn't just take the K off your name and put an extra C on there and have it not seem gang related?
Exactly. They'd be like, oh, this guy. You can tell, though. I mean, look at me. I'm pretty gangster.
Yeah, dude. Lamanac.
I'm Lamanac. Lama thick. No.
Yeah, dude.
Very Lama thick. Now, the question becomes, are you worried that you're getting passed by these other John Wesslings and you're like, well, I don't want to give up the John Wessling Twitter. I just need to step my game up.
Well, yeah, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Right.
So, yeah, I look at it as a healthy competition with my overachieving other John Wesslings. They die a lot. There's a lot of them that die.
Just a lot of dead John Wesslings?
Yeah. And I've been, before you ask, yes, I have been cleared.
Oh, good.
Been wrongdoing. All natural causes, as best I've heard.
Dude, that would be a good story. A guy with a common name goes around killing everybody else with his common name.
You figure, yeah, it would be a good one.
Yeah.
We're right there. Let me schedule that in the next 20%.
If you're do that, maybe that's like the sequel to The Shirtless Man. I don't know. Maybe he's trying to get on Twitter.
Sounds like a villain that Dale needs to address.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. He needs to kill the John Smith killer. Absolutely.
There you go. How's the podcast been going? I know you fired up after later, and you are now, drum roll please, you're big time. I mean, you have joined the Helium Podcast Network, and you're now in syndication.
Let's not get crazy.
Well, I mean, dude,
it's ragtag pirate radio. I appreciate it. It's nice. I should have had a background already set up. Well, yes, and I'm here at the spacious Helium Podcast.
I'm here
Network.
at the Helium Podcast World Headquarters.
It looks like the Death Star.
Then Sarah's like, John, it's weird. Everyone at the headquarters knows my name, and there's kids here. It's crazy. I don't know.
We're like family here at the Helium Podcast Network. Take your kids to work day. It was amazing. Let me do that right off the bat. But yeah, I just started a partnership with Helium. They're same people that produce the Coast to Coast roast that me and Trey came in third place in. What's up? Third place.
Put out that. Give me the lefty. Brought in Trey. Saved the game.
Kid's a beast. He's gonna fuck us up this weekend.
No, I don't want to follow him, John. I mean, no offense, but if I'm having to choose.
Yeah. All right, fair enough.
No one wants to follow the energetic black guy on stage. That's a comedy 101. When you're I'm good. I'll go first.
Yeah, that's true. No, I think we should just, I don't want to follow him either. All right, so we got to just, Trey, you're closing every show.
But we can't, you don't put him in the middle. Then that makes it weird, right? It's like, oh, I see what they did here. I see what they did. You can't go white guy, black guy, white guy. It's obvious. We'll just roll dice for it. I've followed Trey before. It's a joke. I've followed him. Okay. I'm fine.
It'll be fun.
Yes.
Bringing merch, right? I'm guessing
whose idea was it to add him to the show? Smooth. Real fucking smooth.
I mean, Jake for fucking doing some other gig.
Exactly.
I'm asking, though, are you bringing merch? You got merch to sell, right? Because I'm not selling anything. I don't think Trey's selling anything legal.
So I sold out of shirts at LOL. In fact, actually, I have one shirt left. I have one large, I want to bang you on the coffee table, which was your joke, by the way, that you gave me. I know I'm not supposed to break the fourth wall. I don't give a shit.
I don't know what you're talking about.
When I was writing pickup lines, John Wessling wrote one of the best that ended up making it into the act and gave it to me, and it ended up being merch. And but I'm done with that. I am done.
You blamed me for that one. How did I do?
I am done selling pickup line t-shirts. I have sold my last one, and now I've got all these pickup line koozies. I've got both pickup lines that I do in my act are on a koozie, so I think I'm just going to sell those, and then when I'm done with all that, I'm done with all that. And then I think from now on, I'll just sell. I actually took with me, which I'll be bringing, I took shot glasses and masks and sold some on the road. So I'm like, well, I'll just sell Barry on Deck merch from now on. Okay.
Yeah, man. You should absolutely sell that merch because I'm guessing that you're promoting the Barry on Deck show when you're on stage, right?
Not really. I'm so bad at that, John.
What?
I'm
I know,
so bad at that. I really am. Like, they'll be like, what do you want me to say? You know how that's the whole, do you have credit? So I'll be like, tell them I'm formerly of ESPN Radio in Houston and now the host of Barry on Deck on YouTube. And no one listens to that. No one hears the credits in the announcement. They're just like, bring on the funny man. And if he's not funny, fuck him. I don't even care about his credits. So I do. And then at the end, I would do the shirt. I would hold up the shirt, and be like, oh, we'll be out in the lobby. It's going to be like Trader's Village. Come hang out. It's a fucking flea market. But then I would be like, I also have masks and shot glasses for my YouTube show. And that's the most promotion I would do of it. I got to get better at it. I'm not good.
You got to, dude. I mean, think about it. You're going on stage in front of 150, 200 people, That's how many people are watching us right now with that thumbs up.
Yeah, but do you take the time out of your set in the show and with a legitimate headliner following you to, it's different if it's a bar gig and it's a showcase and then up next is, rando comic from the city. But if you're on the road, and Dusty Slay was nice enough to message me and be like, hey, do you want to feature for me in LA? So I don't want to get up there and pitch. I was just like, merch pitch, I'm out. I don't want to. So it was a respect thing, I think.
I would say do this, like if you're featuring, because I guess that's about the 25 to 30 minutes that you're supposed to do.
Yep.
If you do it, it's like say when you do commercial breaks on your show. It's like at a midway spot where you normally take a drink. Oh, hey, by the way, if you have fun, I do a show. It's pretty cool. And then segue it into a joke so that you've already kind of said it a little bit and it's themeless in the middle of what you're already doing.
Not a bad idea, because I do jokes about getting old and not being good with the internets. I know it surprises a lot of the deckheads that I would have actual jokes about being bad at technology.
Fuck you. Well, you've been workshopping those for the last 7 months. Yeah, you've been practicing that shit a little.
Oh my god!
But then you know what? Instead, if you're going to promote the show, instead of having it as your introduction, like part of your credits, what if instead it was your tag? Like when the guy comes up, let's hear it for Barry Laminack. Don't forget his show. You got to watch it every day. So have it more promotion
at the end.
As opposed to saying something before, because that's like the optimal time where they know they like you. They're already cheering, and you already mentioned it a little bit. So then have him come on. Them. I don't want to assume a gender of an MC at a comedy club.
Right. True. Yeah.
One thing got canceled, man. Damn.
Yeah, you did on this show. Don't fucking around getting me canceled. I love everybody. Hims, hers, and theys. I have a
pre-prepared apology here, just in case. If I fuck up, it's already written. It's like a Mad Lib. I just put in the offensive shit I said, offended party.
I need an adjective for a human.
Yeah,
I need
it's a boilerplate.
I need something I need a verb, a noun. By the way, I was so bad at those because I never learned any of that terminology. I think I know an adjective describes something, and then a noun is everything else. That's how I learn. Like that's all I know.
I'm way too. I've been hitting the Astros rally pen already today.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not so good at trivia, but I believe an adjective describes a noun and an adverb describes a verb, right? That's kind of...
Wait, so a verb is an action, right? So a verb is like jump. Yeah. That's a verb.
Yes.
And then if you said he jumped high is the adverb?
Technically, yes.
See? Look, you're like, you were like, well, I don't want to make you look fucking dumb, Laminack, but I believe an adjective is this and a noun and then an adverb and then a verb. And then I give you an example and you're like,
yes. I wouldn't have said it exactly. I don't think he jumps high. If he jumps highly.
What?
He jumps far. Yeah, I think you might be right. I think that is the adverb.
If he jumped in the air, man, you should have seen him. He jumped so high, it was crazy. High would be the adverb of jump.
I think we're using too small and simple a sentence to make it make sense. That
was like English 1.01. Donna, I'm not good at this shit.
I was writing it down. I was trying to do the little map thing. I mean, all my kids are at home basically doing exactly
Go get them. They'll know.
Yeah. That's not a bad idea.
Your middle school will know about verbs that we're fucking awful at it. I bet they know
but she's
more
not
than
going to come down and do it. I got to count on the tenure.
Oh, Dad, I don't want to have to teach you things. You're too stupid to remember it.
I was gonna tell you, man, I haven't been able to watch and keep up with the show as much as I'd like to the last month or so because the kids have been back in school, and it's like right 2 to 4 is when they're all on Zoom classes.
Okay.
And eating up the Wi-Fi. So if I stream your show, it messes up class. So I wind up, I'm like phoned down. 2 to 4, about noon to 4 is about the time where I got to turn like the cable off. Can't have the Xbox on, and I just go outside and fucking blow leaves.
Just do dad shit for 4
Yeah,
hours.
right, that's my midday. All right, well, the internet's taken. God damn it.
Be glad when you guys go back to school. God.
Yeah, for real. Oh, I can't stream weird videos during the middle of the day. Really cramping my style as a man in a comic. Yeah.
He said, wow, John, priorities. Yeah.
Yeah. I was just explaining those.
Can't they do it on their phone on like 4G? I mean, why they got to be on the Wi-Fi?
Dude, I pay that bill. I don't want them hitting that data plan. Fuck that.
Just stay off the data plan.
Data plan. Oh my God. Sometimes where I'm out with Kenny and she's got her real phone, so she actually has data. And if we're just walking around and I see her like nowhere near a Wi-Fi and she's watching something, I'm like, oh hell no. That's the modern version of leaving the door open or the fridge open. You trying to
turn these lights off?
The whole world? Is that what you're doing? Are you
turn off that mobile data. Going around here leaving that mobile data on. I'm not trying to mobile data the whole neighborhood.
Leaving the faucet running. Yeah. Just sucking all that out of there. That's life.
Now, have you been? Yeah. I mean, obviously, I know you've been keeping up with the Astros. I don't know if you caught the first hour.
Playing baseball, yes.
I don't know if you caught the first hour. We talked, and I wanted to get your thoughts on the whole Daryl Morey thing too. But let's talk Astros first because that's what I wanted to bring you on for, anyways, was just to talk Astros. And
wanted to see if I was still clinging to the roof, and you needed to get me off of the rake. Freaking out about these fucking games.
let's get this out of the way first. Were you on board at the moment that it happened? Were you good with Dusty leaving Zach Greinke in?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think it was 50-50 the right baseball decision, but 100% the right legend decision. And I love baseball, and I love winning baseball, and I love having a team that celebrates with parades, but having a good fucked up story that you're going to talk about for the next 20, 30 years talking about baseball is, I think, a little bit more important, and that was great. It was so dramatic. I was like, yes, this is fucking awesome. And then after the game, when he threw fucking Hinch under the bus, AJ Hinch, who in fandom has not received a negative chunk of shit from anybody this whole time. Outside of Houston, they call him whatever they call him until they want to hire him.
Except in Chicago. Yeah, I was going to say, except in White Sox land. Once the White Sox bring in AJ Hinch, he's okay.
And I said, well, it was mostly an Alex Cora thing.
It was the players. He said, don't do it, guys. If you recall, he said, don't do it.
He smashed the TV with a bat, I read.
Yeah, I read. He was not on board with it. He was the scapegoat.
Yeah, for real.
And scape is the adjective describing the goat. Which is a noun.
I think it's the whole thing would just be a noun. Scapegoat would be
it's all one thing. By the way, I'm doing a shot, John, in your honor. I haven't done a shot today. We have to do a shot. Get the alcohol. Nobody's asked for this. I just feel like doing a shot. My alcoholism is, it's getting up.
And let me hold on. I'm going to mute for a second while I shout for the children.
Please go ahead. Deckheads, get your alcohol ready.
Child, I need the nearest child who is old enough to grab a bottle of whiskey for me.
If you're in the carpool, just get a beer out of the back. I know you got one in there. I know you. Was your dad like that? I was telling the story. I was telling Dusty Slay a story about, because we were talking about our dads, and we went to I took him to the Pearl Brewery in San Antonio, and he didn't know what Pearl was. I was like, you don't know what Pearl is? Oh, look at that. I figured everybody knew what Pearl was, right? My dad would be like, he would drink Pearl Light. And he called them red dots, and he would be like every other weekend, me and my mom and my dad and my sister would all drive to Kenny, Texas to visit my grandfather. Kenny's a little town between Brenham and Belleville. Very small town. And it was about a 2-hour drive from our house. And so my dad would pack a cooler full of Pearl Light for the trip.
Roadies.
Yeah, he would get a carton of cigarettes and a 12-pack of Pearl Light, and he would put the Pearl Light on ice and put the ice chest between me and my sister, because not only did it act as an ice chest, it was a barrier between me and her fighting. Like, if we were going to fight, we had to go over an ice chest. And then For the whole 2-hour drive, he would just be like, he'd say, hand me a red dot. And then one of us would get a beer and hand it to him, and he'd crack it and drink it. And about 30 minutes down the road, give me a red dot. And he would just drink beers on the way.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy how stupid we were?
Did your dad not do that? Was he not a drinker and driver?
Hold on, Barry. Me and my father had a very long estranged period. And only recently, since I provided grandchildren, have we sort of made up and buried the hatchet.
So you're not going to throw him under the bus like I just did my dad?
I'll say this about my dad. I will wait until after his passing before I tacitly admit to felonies that he committed. Yeah.
Oh, he doesn't do it now.
Did my dad drink and drive? I don't know, Barry.
Shit about that.
Shit.
I told that story on ESPN Radio. I told that story twice on ESPN Radio. Fuck him. All right, well, you go ahead and take your shot. I'll cheers to the Deckheads and to you and everybody else. Go Astros. Bottoms up.
No sweep. Fuck you, Defiance, baby.
That first one will get you.
Yes.
And I got no chaser left.
Oh, Barry, we're going to have so much fun before work.
We are. Now,
it was a heat. You were talking Astros. You were asking me about Astros.
Yes.
Yeah?
So you were good with Dusty pulling Greinke. Do you agree that which my thought was, well, there's really not much better in the bullpen right now. There's no arm in the bullpen where I'm like, yes, that guy is markedly better than what Zach Greinke can do on the mound.
There's no old Davinsky who you've got to come in.
There's no hammer. There's no one guy you trust to get one out in that bullpen, period.
Right.
There's just not.
It's an easier decision. It's a way different decision than what Hinch had to go through. But from Greinke's position, it's personal, right? You know, they throw out all the stats and the data. The stats and the data and the analytics should give you the percentage decision which way to go. But there's still a gamble to it. That's why they keep talking about Dusty being a gambler.
Yeah,
because he just really sits there and loses mostly. But it was ballsy, dude. And I think Greinke reacted to it and made some damn good pitches in that next at bat where he gets excited and he gets up, he stays chill and he throws low. And when he throws low, he's damn near unhittable. Yeah. Half the time they won't even swing, thinking it's going to skip. But so I thought that was a baller move. And if somehow magically that little karmic shift just sort of reverse the flow, the polarity of the chi that was going on so negatively against the Astros in that first few games. I mean, dude, it reminded me so much of 2005. The 2005 World Series, as I like to call, the closest sweep in history. It makes me feel better.
Does it?
Like, yeah, the Astros, you've seen sweeps where one team is just manhandled and beat up and chewed up and spit out, and they practically take.
We're all Rockets fans, sure.
Yeah, we've seen it. We've seen it happen. It's a curb stomping.
Yeah,
it is. Those 3-0 games were not a curb stomping. We're not at all. It was just fucking snake bit, bad luck. I mean, Jose Altuve gives up the games. That never happened with the glove, with his fucking arm.
Yeah,
you know. So you're like. There's no decision you would have made in any other fucking universe where you don't have Altuve in that position at that time. And there's no universe that says you take him out now because of it. So you just fucking ride with it at this point. He earned the right to fuck those up. And you just have to go, okay.
Yeah, there were talks of are they going to put in somebody else at second base, which is the most ludicrous question to ask. He's an MVP. He proved why you don't do that in this last game. He leads off with a home run in the first inning, not lead off, but he leads off the you know what I mean. 2 outs and he hits a home run. Like you don't take out a guy like Jose Altuve because you think he has the yips. Now, if you get to the All-Star break next year, he's got 9 errors and he's lost just 6 games.
But then maybe you have a talk about that.
Now you're like, look, maybe Yuli goes to third, Yordan plays first, Bregman moves to second or short, or Correa goes to second, and then Correa ain't moving. You got to put Bregman in. Like, maybe you do something like that, or Aledmus Diaz, and then Altuve's your DH. But you're not moving Altuve off the field now.
He's earned the right to. He could fuck up tonight, tomorrow, and the next day, and that's still his job, and it doesn't put any kind of stain on him whatsoever. And as a manager right now, you wouldn't pull him. For fucking what? Abraham Toro, for fuck's sake? I like Toro, but God damn it. I'll say this, Altuve is as sweat equity, legend status, cannot be fucked with. But if it had been Abraham Toro that fucked up 2 throwing errors like that,
Get the fuck out.
I would have fucking got the hook from the stands, yanked that motherfucker out immediately.
Well, now, how many Astros players have that legend status to fade that? Would you do that to Bregman if he had 3 throwing errors and lost you 2 games in the ALCS?
I say there's an elite group. There's a very, very tight, and I think it's obvious who's in and who's not in yet. And Altuve, number 1. Hands down. I mean, he's got the numbers to back it, but even in any kind of tiebreaker situation with any of the Astros players, he's got the heart. Everybody loves that little fucker, right? He's the new Biggio, right?
Yeah.
Honestly, he's going to slide into that kind of role.
He's going to get thrown out a second on his 4,000th hit, trying to get a double. Jesus.
That would be fucking funny. So Altuve, Springer, Correa is I think leaped up into that spot. I think he was on the fringe. He was damn near in fuck it trade him mode after last year until all of a sudden he's like, if you ain't got the facts, shut the fuck up. And everyone's like, oh,
where did he get these balls from? That's my guy. Yeah, he's been the only one. He's been the de facto leader of this team this year, especially with Verlander missing most of the season. Yeah. Carlos Correa has been the face of the franchise and hasn't been afraid to be the bad guy. Hasn't been afraid to call people out like, yeah, fuck you, now what? We're in the ALCS. That's exactly what this team needed because everybody else, I said this several times, John, and I don't know if you agree with me, and I'd love to get your opinion on it.
Okay, I'd love to. I'd love to give my...
Bregman and Altuve wilted. This season, they have not been, there's no Bregman swagger. Altuve's just all shucks. I hope I don't hit 200. Like, they've wilted under this pressure of the cheating scandal, which we all agree they cheated. It's okay. But the only guy that's really said, fuck this, you're not going to bully me, and that's in the past, is Correa. And he stood up and he's puffed his chest out and he carried this team for most of the year.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what part I'm supposed to disagree with, but it sounded just
I'm just saying. I mean, that was my thought, right? Like, do you think Bregman and Altuve wilted this year? Did it look like they cracked under the pressure of the cheating scandal?
Man, well, I would say you have to be real superhuman to not have something like that affect you if you're a person of conscience, right? And I think that it probably did hurt personally. Altuve, I think that's hurt his numbers in his production and just his energy level and his morale, his esprit de corps. You know what I mean? He just looks sad, man, right? It breaks my heart.
Somebody write that. Esprit de what? Who?
Esprit de corps. Oh,
where do you get all these big fucking words, John?
College.
Oh, I didn't go to college.
Yeah, they leave them there.
How do you spell that? Is Esprit like the Spree scooters?
Yeah, it is like that. It's ESPRIT. Space.
That's a Sprit.
Yeah, a Sprit. A Sprit, and then DE.
Esprit de corps.
And then
morale. How do you know that word?
I don't know. I've been yelled at a lot.
I know your dad wasn't using that word. I know your dad didn't yell at you about esprit de corps. I've met your dad. Fine human being. Great guy. Love Papa Wessling, by the way.
Throw out esprit de corps because he likes military terms. And if that's been on any sort of...
Is that a military term?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, a little bit. It's,
I don't know.
It's how fit to fight are your fighting men?
The closest I ever came to serving is when I play Warzone, Call of Duty. That's the closest I've ever come to serving. And not one person, Nora or anyone else, has thanked me for my service yet. And I'm hurt by that.
Well, no, that's accurate. That's accurate.
All right, I digress. Fancy pants.
We're asking about Bregman too. Sorry, are we done? Are we wrapped?
No, it's up to you. I mean, that was an observation I had about halfway through the season. I've said it a couple of times, and I just wondered if anybody else felt that way. Some people, maybe don't think anything about that, but I felt like those two guys were the faces of the franchise, so to speak. Springer, he's always going to be Springer, always going to be underappreciated and overperforming what he's getting paid and what people think of him. Let's be real. I think Springer, he's the unsung hero of the Astros. Altuve gets all the credit, and Correa, and day in and day out, there's one guy you count on. It's George Springer.
Yeah, and I agree, but I don't see that he's undervalued or underappreciated or underrated, because I feel like he's properly rated and lauded, I would say. He ain't sneaking up on anybody, for fuck's sake. He and Altuve now with 18 postseason home runs, they're tied Reggie Jackson, for fuck's sake. They are in elite numbers. And forgive me,
I didn't know that. Is that true? I didn't know that.
Yeah, dude. I mean,
I know that there were comparisons of Springer.
Yeah.
People were calling Springer the new Mr. October. I wasn't aware that Altuve was up there with 18 home runs as well.
That just shows the level of achievement that they've fucking reached in the postseason in these past 4 or 5 years. Think about it. This core team that we know as the Astros, for the most part, started being assembled in 2014, right? That's when you started getting, I guess, well, technically when Altuve was 2012 or something like that, or 13.
Yeah, he went through the 100 lost years. It was,
he ate some shit for a while, and then they brought up Springer, but then they start, and then when they drafted Correa, that's when it started. That's when you see the team dude, that's a 5-6 year grouping of dominance and achievement that you can't take away, and is an impressive chunk. Look at all the other champions that have popped up in the past 10 years that just immediately fucking disappeared. Mm-hmm. The Royals of 2015, right? That the
Astros lost to. Yeah,
exciting, fun team, and we lost because of Greg Abbott running his fucking mouth on Twitter before the game was over. Sorry, I don't mean to go back to that, but. And then they immediately blew up. They couldn't hold the team together, and they were a one and done. And God bless them, there was a great team. But then they scattered to the fucking East winds. The Cubs.
What happened?
That was a big fucking deal. And then they just sort of fell right back down to the middle of the table.
Yeah, which was weird because they didn't blow that squad up. They just underperformed after that.
Yeah, they had a couple of. I'm trying to. I didn't do research on.
Their core was still there though. Their core. What's his name? Third baseman, first baseman. Why am I'm blanking on the Cubs? But yeah, they kept their core for the most part, and I know that the catcher they had. I cannot remember any of the Cubs names.
This is my point. No one fucking remembers these guys, and they're world champions. They got to wear the gold jerseys and shit the next year, but they were immemorable, and they didn't sustain. The Astros have sustained in a dynastic way.
True. And
they're still primed for it. And as much shit as people want to give them for going, less than, one game under 500 at the end of the season, that season was 60 games. In a regular season, they've been at that point and been at 500 and then immediately cruised to a 100-win season.
And usually in the second half of the season.
They would have had plenty of time to get shit right and get people healthy and get right people coached up and signed and traded. I mean, the quickness of that, I think, made them look weaker than they really were. I think they were going through expected, normal, on schedule, on path kind of growth. But then they got thrown into a postseason and they're back into serious fucking professional mode.
You think about that. If you give these rookie arms in the bullpen another 100 games under their belt, another 102 games, and then put them in the postseason, that's even better. Like, that's even more. Plus, you're going to get guys back that maybe you didn't get back now because of the shortened season that, you're not getting Verlander back, but there may be some arms that come back early and get right. What they did, everybody played under these circumstances, but the Astros having to basically have 9 rookies on their starting pitching or on their pitching staff is it's unheard of.
And that wasn't expected. Verlander started the opening day. He pitched that game, right? He won that game, if I remember correctly. Yeah. And it was afterwards, my elbow hurts. Tommy John, fuck, he's screwed, right?
Yeah.
So it's not like they came in planning to have that many, and then Brad Peacock couldn't fucking hang. Colin McHugh couldn't come out of training.
James gets hurt, which was a blessing, I think, because he's just...
Ozuna, but dude, it was just a bloodbath.
You lose your closer, you lose your ace and your closer, and you make it to the ALCS. How many teams could say they could do that in the season, shortened or not? Seriously. Not a lot.
Seriously. So this is like, for story-wise, this shit's legendary. Dude, the Washington Nationals had an amazing World Series win over us last year.
Where they at?
And no one gave a fuck about them. For three days after they had their victory parade, all of a sudden they break the news about the Astros cheating from 2017.
Yeah.
And then no one cares about the Nats anymore. And then they showed up with zero pressure as a defending champion and shit the bed and did nothing.
Yeah.
And did not. That's how hard baseball is.
By the way,
And-
Eric Resendez with the chat. First base Rizzo, third base Bryant, and Javi Baez at shortstop. Yes. I don't know why I couldn't remember Rizzo and Bryant. For whatever reason, that just... And I kept thinking Dempsey at catcher. It's not Dempsey. I don't remember he moved into the booth. I don't remember his fucking... it's the Cubs. Fuck those guys.
Yeah. He's like, who fucking cares? I mean, if it was, they're putting up the kind of dominance that you were seeing. Because here's why I bring that up. Because I think it bears repeating again. There's other things I would say. If the season was to end abruptly tonight or tomorrow night... And
it will end today. Are you in agreement with me?
No.
It's over. Don't be a fan, John. Be
a fucking time.
Be a media member. Don't be a fan.
I'm not a media member. I haven't been paid in a while.
No, but don't. But I'm telling you, don't be. You've been a media member.
So why do you think the Rays are destined to win tonight? What would make you think that victory?
They're the better baseball team. The Astros, but for a night, were outclassed in every way, and they barely beat them 4-3. This bullpen, these guys know every game is an elimination game. You're not even running out one of your 4 best starters. What's the dude's name? Luis
Garcia, number 77.
Big boy. Number 77, right? Is he 77?
Yeah, number 77. He was last year starting a pitcher for High A Fayetteville Woodpecker Heads.
Look at you, the Woodpecker Heads.
Well, I threw the heads part on, but that's what we call him.
Yeah. But he's got one start he under his belt. He lost that start. He's 0-1. I think a 13 ERA in his starts. He's not a guy that you look at. But
throw strikes, baby.
Throw strikes. And based on
commodity, Barry. He's an unknown commodity in the postseason, and that is just as deadly as having a Cy Young. They don't know what he's going to fucking throw.
Well, I mean, you look at last year when Urquidy was thrown in the mix, and he held his own, and maybe that's what we see again. But the problem is, dude, I just don't believe. I don't. There's nothing in me that says that this Astros team should give you any reason to think that they can continue to win, other than defensively. They're not as good.
To win the series. I'm going to pick them to win tonight and then see what happens. So
when does it end, John? When does it end? Because if you pick them to win tonight, then you're back to McCullers and you're back to Urquidy and Framber Valdez and
back into it, Barry.
But you realize that you're facing the best pitching staff in baseball, and they're not even throwing out one of their better starters. They're throwing out an opener, and then you got to realize you're facing the best bullpen in baseball. Like,
the Astros, I like it a 1-2 game, 3 game. I like the volatility of those hitters, the clutch, the experience. I'll take them one at a time.
This is a 3-game series, and you have to win all 3 games. You can't lose not a single game.
Aware of the math of it, Barry. I know how it works when you're down 3 games. When you win, every game's a must win. But I think they popped the bubble of the Rays. The Rays have been riding high since that Yankees victory in Game 5, where they were smoking cigars and fucking jerking off to New York. You know what I mean? So, and then they had 3 games and they got rattled off, and they're just, oh, look at me. Every time I take a shit, it's a web gem, and they can't fucking stop talking about it. Oh, look, I caught one in my mind in my sleep, and they gave me an hour for it. So yeah, they're fucking high as pie. And then they got their dicks hard for a sweep. They thought they were going to be getting whatever tweets they got saved in drafts about take that cheaters, fuck your trash cans. They had to wait. And I think the fates reversed themselves, and now we're looking at a 2004 Red Sox comeback. Now
are you suggesting, John Wessling, on this very program that you think this Astros team, not a Verlander, Cole, Greinke, McCullers, Osuna at the back end of a bullpen that includes Peacock and McHugh Astros team without Altuve with the yips and Bregman with his swagger? You're not suggesting that Astros team makes a miraculous 4-game comeback. You're suggesting...
No, I 4-game. 4-game, yeah, that's simple. I'm calling the 8-game run. The comeback from 3-0 all the way through the World Series sweep.
How much of that old Humble whiskey did you drink? You have to be shit-faced.
How dare you besmirch the glory of Old Humble.
Somebody, by the way, in the chat was like, he's just casually swigging out of the bottle like it's a bottle of Ozarka. Just
it's the only fluid I have to drink in front of me, and I'm parched.
I know. I ran out, and I'm like, fuck. Usually I grab an extra just in case, but I was like, I don't need it. And I need it. Andy Huggins is in the chat, John, and he said, fuck the Cubs and the Nationals. And I am here for that.
That's my man.
Oh, I love Huggins.
No, but the one thing I have to get out, because people want to talk shit about this 2017 Astros all the time. And I'm going to skip past all the other usual, how many other people are cheating, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter.
Right.
One thing came out of that investigation, and it was a proper investigation. The MLB had people digging into the Astros for 2016, 17, 18, and 19, right? And for the record, the 2019 Houston Astros, the American League champions, the ones that lost to last year's team, put up numbers on the level of the 1927 Yankees. The 2019 Astros were a baseball team that should be remembered in the annals of history. And they have been officially, after an extensive investigation, cleared of any cheating or wrongdoing whatsoever. Right? So they have an official stamp of we looked and they didn't do anything wrong in 2019. So that to me gets lost in the wash. People are booing the 2020 Astros and looking at the 2020 Astros like they're the disgraced 2017 Astros, when in reality they're just a banged up taxi version of one of the best teams in baseball history, certified and guaranteed pure.
Okay.
So,
no. Okay. But
yes.
Let me ask you this, John. If you were, let me play devil's advocate for a moment. And I know I'm going to make some people mad. Earlier, I said I was glad Daryl Morey was run out of town. I'm glad he stepped down. He stepped down. It was a mutual thing. If the 2017 Yankees had won the World Series, and then were found to be cheaters in all of 2017 and half of 2018, and then suspicions continued. You lost to that team in 2019 that eventually went to the World Series, and you saw Aaron Judge rounding third base, coming home, holding his jersey, saying, "Don't rip my jersey off," as Osuna stood on the mound with a look on his face like, how did he know? How did he hit that? What would you think?
Oh, man.
This makes it real. What would you think about the Yankees? Do you blame people?
Oh, no, I never blamed anyone, anything. No, let it out. I mean, I already pled guilty. What the fuck you want from me?
But I get it though, John. Like, I get it.
It didn't help. I mean, it didn't help as much as people act like it did, which is a shame because we still got busted for armed robbery. It doesn't matter if the safe wasn't fucking empty.
It doesn't matter if it was a BB gun. You still robbed the fucking place.
Yeah. Like, oh, okay, yeah, I did it. But then you're like, and only reason anyone knows anything about anything is because the Astros came clean and told the stories themselves. They could have fucking clammed up and just went, nah, I don't know what you're talking about.
They did that only because they were given immunity. What if all the Yankees, Judge and Stanton, and every Yankee that you fucking despise on that team right now got off scot-free and they cheated? It's not a question of did they cheat. They fucking cheated. How would you feel? You would absolutely hate them even more than you hate them now. So I get it. I get it in every way, shape, and form, and I wouldn't forgive the Yankees for a decade. It could be Aaron Judge looking like Albert Pujols running to first, just barely getting by, and I'd be like, fuck that cheater. You could, like, when they bring him out, when he's 70, and Aaron Judge is on the mound, and he's all like, I would be like, fuck that cheater. Mm-hmm. And I get it. I get it.
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
So, but
I'm accepted with it.
But you say, you know, they didn't get the credit for 2019. Do they deserve it? Would any other team get credit for that?
I don't care.
Based on the history.
I'm with you. I get what you're saying. But go back to what I was saying. It's memorable now, and all that matters is the stories that are fucking told. And can you tell me the years, the 3 different years that the Giants won the championship? In the between 2000 and 2020, it was pretty much amazing.
Was it even years? It was like 12, 14, and 16, right?
They dominated. Can you remember much about them other than Madison Bumgarner? That's about it. Yeah, right. No one fucking talks about, oh, you had to see that one game when they played, name one opponent. One opponent, the Giants.
It kind of makes you wish, though, that Game 5 of that 2017 World Series had happened the way it happened, but in L.A., because now you could be like, well, Springer knew what was coming. You know what I mean? Like, there's just that little bit, there's always going to be that seed of doubt that we were treated to the best game in the World Series in the history of baseball. I personally believe, I watched a lot of World Series, that Game 5, and yeah, I'm an Astros fan, but I don't give a fuck who you are. That Game 5, the way the Dodgers kept coming back, and to me, it was the greatest baseball game ever played. Just me personally. But then you find out and you're like, fuck, man. Was it happening? Because it was that year. And it was at home. Now, again, I just did a podcast where I lambasted Dodger fans for being crybaby bitches. Because they are. Dodger fans are big old crybaby pussy bitches. And
they should be fucking happy right now. The Lakers won.
And the Dodgers lost 2 games at home in the World Series. Cody Bellinger hit a $150 and shit the bed in the same World Series, and you lost in Game 7 on your home field. So I don't want to hear shit about the Astros cheated to win the World Series. They may have cheated to got there, but they fair and square whooped the Dodgers' ass. Fair and square.
Yeah. I don't want to go back into it.
No, please. I guess we can do it, dude.
But the Dodgers were dirty, too.
Oh, yeah. That's the other thing. I think
we robbed from the mob. We didn't steal some poor innocent team. Yeah, we essentially deserve the 2017 World Series, and I say that using the royal we, which I know is a faux pas in any sort of sports talk conversation, but that business is dead, so fuck them. We had to stomp through the murderer's row of the worst cheaters possible, the guys who were the dirtiest. We went through them. So you're going to take it away and give it to the other 3 teams that were also implicated in all this? We beat the Red Sox, the Yankees, and then the Dodgers. Motherfucker, that's the top 4 people who were cheating with cameras and shit. Yeah. So, my bad. Y'all did it, and we were the best ones at doing it.
Yeah, the Astros got busted. The other teams did not. They got slaps on the wrist. In fact, the only reason there was protocol about cheating to the extent that was issued by baseball is because of what the Red Sox and the Yankees did. So I know, I mean, it's a valid point. I'm just saying.
And I don't see pious St. Louis Cardinal fans giving back their World Series rings from when Mark McGwire was the goddamn Incredible Hulk.
So
you know what I'm saying? Let's go back to the 80s with the A's. They had fucking Mark McGwire, Jose Canseco. About the only time that motherfucking place ever sold a ticket.
Yeah.
And they're not giving that much back. They're not giving back that ring that they won.
The Giants. I mean, with Bonds.
Whenever the Yankees are good, it's because they're dirty. When the Yankees are clean, they suck, and Don Mattingly plays first base for them, and they are the fucking,
the laughing stock of baseball at one point.
Yeah, they were like they were worse than the Pirates. I don't want to say that because the Pirates are on the way. I'm trying to think who sucks right now that's not getting any better.
I was going to say the Marlins, but the Marlins were actually decent this year.
The shit.
Yeah, who is a shitty team this year? I mean, the Nationals, weren't they last in their division this year?
Like hiring and shit and getting worse. Who would that be?
Man, that's a good question. Can't say the Padres.
The fucking Yankees the whole time whenever they kept firing and hiring Billy, what's his name?
Billy Martin.
What was his name?
Yeah.
Billy Martin, right. Yeah, because they were trying to stay in the news to sell tickets because it was a corny fucking clown show with a bunch of half shitty old stars that they would sign to come have their victory lap as a New York Yankee.
The chat threw out names for us. Rangers. That's a shitty team that's getting shittier.
Yeah,
you love the Astro slander.
I love Tim. Tim Lincecum was one of my favorite players that never played for the Astros. Like he would have been a guy that I wanted them to pick up at the time.
Really, mine was Jeter. I'm not a Yankees fan, but I love Derek Jeter.
Nah, I like Jeter as a person, but I never wanted to have him play on my team.
Really? Do you think the Astros have any players like that other teams? I know the cheating scandal be damned, but
want all of them, dude? You fucking kidding me? I tell you what, the Dodgers right now, as much as that fan base hates the Astros to death, if they had a chance to get Correa or Bregman even, they would take it in a fucking heartbeat.
I don't know if they would take Correa over Seager. I think they like Corey Seager, but I can see them wanting Bregman to play third base.
No, never mind their positions of fucking need. Just imagine someone breaks their ankle or falls off their fucking motorcycle going up and down Sunset, which happens all the fucking time. Just imagine all of a sudden they're like, hey, and they'll ship someone off if they got someone who sells better tickets. Yeah,
that's the thing. Once these guys start leaving the Astros and landing on other teams, I hope Correa becomes a Yankee. I really do. I hope Carlos Correa is a Yankee so we can look at Yankees fans and go, where's all the cheater talk though? What are you? You're good with that? It's the hypocrisy of baseball. By the way, Andy Huggins said Bernie Williams was his favorite.
That's
non-Astro. That's a good safe pick for non-Astros that you would want to be.
He was a hell of a captain for the Yankees during a little bit of the run, but that was also at the height of a steroid scandal. I mean, when Bernie Williams was the captain of the Yankees, that's when Roger was there, just high as fuck, punching holes through sheetrock all day. So. You know what I mean?
Yes. Before I let you go, thoughts on the Daryl Morey thing? Because it's 3:55. This hour fucking flew by. Thoughts on Daryl Morey stepping down as the Rockets GM?
Man, good for Daryl Morey, and I got nothing bad to say about Daryl Morey. I've had a chance to talk to him on several occasions, and he's a great guy, and I think he did a great job. And if you want to give him shit because he couldn't get the team over the hump in the championship in the playoffs, I got news for you. The GM doesn't really have shit to do after the first day of the playoffs start. They're sitting there watching it just like you. And he put together teams that, by all that's right and holy, had a run at it. He did his job. You know what I mean? That team when Chris Paul got hurt, that was the championship team that he built, and it took him a decade to put that thing together. And I got to watch Daryl Morey over the years. I mean, what was it? 11 years? How many years was he the GM
13,
of the
2007?
Right. He had the toughest job in sports, and that is an owner demanding a rebuild without tanking first. So he had to rebuild on the fly after Tracy McGrady, after Yao Ming, and he had bad deals, and he horse traded with the best of them, and every move he made improved the standing of his job. So I think he did an amazing job, and I wish him luck in his next one. After that shit went down with China, there was no way he was going to be able to stay with the Rockets. He'll be able to go to some other team, and he'll be like a Billy Bean, man. He'll go to some small market team no one's thinking about, and you give him 3 years, and he'll have him running for the title.
All right, Wessling, you're probably going to jerk off to what I'm about to say.
Go on.
Don't do it right now. Do it later. But Eric Resendez said something, and, you and I have discussed, you and Shock created this idea of BiffNet, and it usually comes out. See, it's fucking. Eric Resendez said, I would like a live game reaction stream from you two, me and you, and Shock. Now, hear me out on this, Wessling. Hear me out on this, Shock, and hear me out on this, Eric Resendez and the rest of the Deckheads. Believe it or not, and I'm just going to just humor me if you will. But shut up, Sergio. No BiffNet goddamn posts. Just so I had a discussion. You know who Chinadu is. Went viral. Big. He's a comedian. He's a YouTube sensation. Channel 11 in the mornings. Like Chinadu's a big deal in Houston. And great guy. And he was nice enough to sit down with me one day and just talk about YouTube and social media and giving me ideas on how I could improve this show and expand its reach and grow. And he goes, Barry, one thing you should do is you should just do live watch parties. And I was like, what do you mean? And he said, you should just watch the games, put a camera on you, not the TV, because that's a copyright issue.
Right,
Turn the sound down and just watch the games and hang out with whoever wants to watch it with you live. And I was like, damn, that's a great idea. So I ask you, John, if I create, now I probably won't do this on YouTube. I'm thinking about even doing it on
Twitch?
Facebook. Huh?
But you have a pretty good Twitch going, right?
I have a Twitch. Kind of I'm thinking about Facebook. I'm trying to diversify my bonds, right? I'm trying to diversify my portfolio because I feel like once one grows, the others will grow too. Yeah, would you be down for some watch parties going forward? Maybe next year when baseball season rolls around, we do some Astros watch parties, some Texans, some Rockets. Would you be in on that?
First off, I'm offended that you had to ask, you motherfucker, you,
Okay.
because you knew I was down from the clown.
Okay.
So yeah, absolutely. And I mean, yeah, we should obviously do the big games, but I think we should also do fucking weird ass Thursday Mountain West versus Mac challenge. Who the fuck are these people playing games?
Well, listen,
and some Australian football. Just pick a time. Let's do it.
I've thought about it, and I think that's what. Good God, John Wessling, you are going to die of alcohol poisoning live on Barry on Deck, and I'm fucking here for it. Nope. Finish that bottle right now. Finish it. Go.
Give me a minute.
You were like,
one train per track, player.
All right, so I'm good. That's the first I've ever mentioned that publicly. I just had this conversation with Chinadu like a week or two ago, and I've been marinating on this, and I have several ideas going forward. I have several projects that I'm going to be kicking off in the future to try to grow this Barry is Funny Network enterprise thing, or just the brand that is Barry, me, right? I'm trying to grow the brand. And so I'm trying to bring some friends along with me as we grow. You're obviously one of those guys. Shock is one of those guys. So I don't know if we're gonna talk about it, and we'll see if we can make that happen. Okay?
That's a great idea, and I got a bonus pitch.
Oh, okay.
That last one had a little extra caboose in it.
I got you. Did you finish? Let me see. Did you knock it out? Oh, you slut. Nope. We're not getting off the air until you finish that, John Wessling.
I don't think I can get that out.
You got that. Yes, you can.
Too many right angles in the ball.
You got to stroke it. Why am I doing this on the camera?
I'm going to break a tooth doing that. Here's my next thing I was going to say, because I love your idea for BiffNet there. Okay. Let's go a step further and even do secondary audio programming. Let's call the games instead of having to listen to these idiots on Monday Night Football. Or the bad announcers. Let's do the announcing. So we just put out an audio that goes over the video.
And they link it up with their. Well, that would be kind of like the live thing. Okay. But you're saying like it's the unofficial Monday Night Football broadcast.
Yes, football on Monday, we call it.
Oh, there you go. Football Monday evening.
It's
football evening on a Monday. I like it. Okay.
Time for some footy.
I will give that some thought. Live audio, huh? If I could do live audio, I'd be doing that right now, because so many people are like, man, fuck YouTube. I want to close my phone and I can't. So let me figure out live audio first, and then maybe we'll do that.
Barry, at some point, you know what this all leads to?
No.
The BiffNet app.
Okay. Get the fuck out of here. All right, guys, that's John Wessling creating more goddamn work for me. I love you, buddy. I'll see you tomorrow. I don't know if I'm going to go up early and do the show from my in-laws' house.
Oh, well, I'm riding up. Trey's coming to my house, going to meet the family and all. And then me and Trey are driving.
Now, have the kids ever met a black man? Are they prepared?
Oh, yeah. There's several black people.
Okay. I don't know. I mean, some white kids aren't ready for it. You know what I mean? Has Trey ever met white kids? That's the other question. I don't know if Trey's ever met a white kid. He might be in for a shock.
Yeah, that could be fun. That could be fun.
Like,
so we're heading up early. Like we're taking off around here about 12 or 1. So we're gonna slow boat it up to Fort Worth, man. But should we rendezvous for some chicken fried steak?
Well, if I go up early, I'm gonna have to do the show from 2 to 4.
So you haul ass right at 4.
Well, no. So I'm saying if I go up there early, I might get up at like 9 in the morning and drive up, and then do show prep in the house, because I'm staying with an in-law at the house. So I might do my show prep and then go live from 2 to 4 in their casa. If I don't, because show doesn't start till 8:30.
Yes.
So I might leave here at 4 and get there by 7:30-ish, go straight to the club, and then. So I'm probably a bad hang for tomorrow, because I have no idea. Saturday though.
Oh yeah. We're gonna do Saturday. We're gonna go to the movies. We're gonna go hit a steakhouse.
Yes, all that. I got no shows to do. I'm in.
We got shows. Right. Oh yeah, you ain't no.
I got no Barry on Deck to do. Okay. By the way, somebody has a great name. Yogi Fish thought of a name for our live play-by-play. It's called "Call It" with John and Barry.
Call it.
Call it. I like it, Yogi.
All right, you guys. That guy knows what's up.
Hey, tell everybody how they can follow you, John Wessling. We got to get the fuck out of here. It's 4:03.
Oh. Gotta go to the After Later podcast homepage. It's anchor.fm/afterlater. You can also go to heliumpresents.com/ podcast, and that goes to the Helium Podcast Network. Follow me on Twitter at John Wessling, JohnWessling. And I look to see you guys soon. I love all the Deckheads. You know it. Barry, thank you again for having me on.
Love you too, buddy. I appreciate you, man. There you go. Guys, that's John Wessling. That is another episode of Barry on Deck. Thank you all for hanging out. Thank you for being here. Thank you for making this show even possible. It's appreciated. You are loved. Go subscribe. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, do your boy a solid. Go hit subscribe. I'm telling you, I got a lot of plans in the works. I know you guys think I just do this show every day. The wheels are turning, folks. There will be more content coming in the following months. So be prepared. But tomorrow, I don't know where I'll be, but we're going to do a show. I have no idea how yet, but I'll make it happen. Until then, I love you all. Be safe. Be kind. And most importantly, love each other. Even the Karens. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Go Astros. Daddy's making a YouTube video!